Hello guys, welcome to Ask Regular. Today we're gonna see into the Bitcoin reveal, the founder reveal. So next tomorrow we're gonna know who's Satoshi Nakamoto. He's the founder, alleged founder of Bitcoins. So today I'm gonna do a run through of what has been revealed so far and what we can expect tomorrow. So let's quickly run through. So if you have not heard about Bitcoins, probably I'll put another video in so you can learn about what is Bitcoins and blockchains and why it is different, what is the buzz about it and stuff. So what you're looking at it is actually the current rate of Bitcoins, which is around $10,000 per Bitcoin. And totally there are 18 million Bitcoins have been mined so far. And so the max limit is around 25 million, so which is what makes it unique because there is a finite amount of bitcoins. So it's not like your regular currency. Bitcoins are just like another currency, like US dollars and American dollars and Indian rupees. So only difference is with the other currencies, the government have control over how much they want to print it, so they gonna keep printing it. Whereas with bitcoins, from the base algorithm level, so there is a max limit of how much it can be mined. So the maximum limit is around 21 million. So that is where it's going to stay. So it's not going to grow more than that. So since it's finite, so the value of this is going to go more and more. So the demand will go higher. So that is what makes Bitcoin cooler. So now we will go through Bitcoins later with some of the what is it and what are the features and stuff. So now let's get into Satoshi Nakamoto and his reveal in his blog and so what we know so far. Okay, so welcome to the session guys, and if you have any questions just put into the comment section, and if you like my videos please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any feedback please leave it with us, and we'll try to improve. All right, thanks guys, cheers. Also, this is our Crypto Navigator free app. You can use this to watch all the latest price of all the cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoins, literally hundreds of get Bitcoin-like currencies. So this is free. You can download it from Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And if you need any other features, just throw it at us and we'll build it. All right, thanks guys. Let's get into the chapter today. Looking at the website, where this is actually the website which said Satoshi is going to reveal his identity. So it is going to be a three-part series. The first part is he's going to just talk about some of the basic things about his ideologies, so the development, how it was created, and what was his original vision, what was the reason why he started getting into bitcoins, and some of these things. And the second part will be like share how my strong beliefs of numerology influenced many of these decisions and in the creation of the Bitcoin. And then I will also reveal all the facts related to my 980,000 bitcoins. So that's actually how much Satoshi owns. And finally, he will reveal his true identity and also about his Tabula Rasa project. That's like one of his other projects that he's working on. Okay, so let's get into it. So first thing is he talks about origin of his of bitcoins. So it's actually a pretty lengthy story. And also before I get through this, so a lot of people are skeptical about this one. The reason being is this also says that this person is coming from a Pakistani identity. So there is nothing wrong with that. It's just there has been scenarios that has happened before where Pakistani hackers hack into websites and post themselves as legit, and so this has happened before. So people are a little skeptic about this one. So we have to wait until it's been all been verified and stuff. 9 to 10 years, and so he says like it's not a fluke. It's started with a lot of thought and process got into it. And he also says that his mentor was Hal Finney. So he's actually one of the computer scientists and also one of the early adapters of bitcoins. So if you read about him, you get to know that people were strongly still believe that he was actually the founder, and pretty much he used probably an outsourcing tech person to help him out on some of the encryption part of it or something. So yeah, so there is a lot of things that goes in there. So now he's talking about recessions as well, the origin of the bitcoins. He says like he was a son of a banker. who's associated with BCCI. His father said stories about Abi Hassan Abidi, so he's a founder of the United Bank Limited, and then some history about it and how this bank. This is actually another story by itself. If you look at it, this bank was actually shut down because of a lot of these money laundering, bribery, smuggling, and scandals. A lot of these scandals, and also I think funding terrorism and spies, and a lot of these things. So this is a Pakistani bank which was shut down, and for all those illegal activities. So he was a bit upset about this shutdown of the bank, and a lot of people got um, some disappointments with that. So that was he was saying, and then the master's thesis, which is like interested in cryptography. He started getting interested in cryptography. He also says that he's not a tech nerd, and he says that he's pretty like a visionary, and then bit smarter about computers, and that's all he says. But later he got interested into cryptography and computational quantum finance, and then numerology. So that's what his sort of passion towards what he wanted to do, and then later played part in creating a Bitcoin. And the computer science master decision he did in 1999 to 2000 at an university, I will identify later. I submitted a draft paper where I had researched DigiCash Inc. and Electronic Money Corporation. So he said he submitted a paper for one of his uni thesis dissertations. And David Checkham, whose vision then seemed to be more ahead of its time. So he talked about the founder of DigiCash and some of his visions and things like that. Next is like necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, now what is happening here is final push for the Bitcoin to be created is only because of his personal banking experience. So first thing is he said like he's from Pakistan, and then he moved to UK, and then none of the banks would open a bank account for him just because he doesn't have a permanent residency, and so he had some trouble getting I think the visa and whatever the legal stuff is, and so he wouldn't be able to open a bank account. So he was humiliated by people in the banks and things like that. So that was his anger. And so how he got the name as Bitcoin, so that's obvious. Like bit is actually a IT word for the smallest data in a computer. In a computer, and while structuring the unnamed decentralized digital currency, I was looking at the bank name, Bank of Credit Commerce International. So that's the bank which was closed. Okay, and then he got the name Bitcoin. So that's the name of the bank. He said like he tried to register a domain name, which is the first one he got is I think the bitcoin.org and org, and also he tried to register another one, the BCCI.net, which was a real name, where he used his legal name and then changed later. So that was he said that he registered that name as well. Okay, so that's the who's record. And in search of a new identity. Now see, he that is this is a portion where he talks about how we get into the name pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. So this is a typical Japanese name. So because of this, a lot of people get a lot of people were thinking other people as founders, let's say, who are thought to be the founders, or Turian Nakamoto. He's because of his last name, and then some of the things that he was talking about, and he was also part of the cryptocurrency communities and things like that. So people thought that he was one of the guys who's part of this founding team. And then Craig Wright is an Australian scientist, and so he actually did some of the presentations which made people think that he's a credible founder. And the reason being is his knowledge, his in-depth knowledge into bitcoins and then cryptocurrency at the time was way ahead compared to rest of the peers. So people thought that he was a founder, and there was actually still a lot of groups around the world, especially in Brazil. He's been invited to do a lot of presentations, and people still believe that he's the founder of the Bitcoin. So there is a whole bunch of history about him. And then Nick Szabo, so he is actually computer engineer and a legal scholar. So he is also one of the um, guys who was associated with the bitcoins. And Szabo has actually worked on Charm's DigiCash in 1990s. So this is another thing which makes it interesting, because on the reveal it talks about DigiCash as a presentation that Nakamoto did during his uni days, which is almost the same time frame if you look at it. So this project submission bankruptcy, DigiCash already bankrupted. So this, looking at the time frames that we talk about here, is sort of the same as what Nick Szabo was working at DigiCash. Um, so then there was like a whole bunch of other people who was got suspected of being the founders, and some of them are even Elon Musk, because he was actually the founder, and he's like founded PayPal at the first place. So the way he got into this name is Satoshi Nakamoto is like he was really paranoid to reveal his original name, so he was a bit worried of it, and he said like his original name brings him bad luck, just because he um, got some issues with the banks in UK when he first visited there. So he was a bit worried about that it would bring bad luck, so he used a different name. He wants to use a different name. Anything original name, so that's what he says. And which was Shaiko. So he says like his original name back home was Psycho. Uh, I think it sounds like a Muslim name, so it's like from his hometown Pakistan, and so it was derived from a Mughal emperor Jahangir, and nickname Sheiku. That was given to him by his mother's wife Akbar the Great. So yeah, so these are the people who built the Taj Mahal. The Shah Jahan, he's a Mughal emperor, so he built the Taj Mahal. So he said like he took his reference from Jahangir. And once I decided to work on a project, digital currency, so he took his alias, and then he's very much fond of numerology, and so he took some guessings from numerology. So that's all the things that he worked out how he wants the name to be using numerology. And then he talked about Hal Finney. Hal Finney was an esteemed programmer, computer scientist in California. He passed away a few years ago, and then he talked about how he and Hal worked together. And he also talked about, let's say they both did the first transaction, and Hal helped him get his first computer, because he had some worries trying to log in from Pakistan because people trace him back. So he got another computer in UK, and using VPN remote sessions, he used to work from UK and things like that. So he also says that so this was his old Fujitsu book, which was given by Hal. And he thanks Hal for all these efforts. And then he said like he learned about his demise, and then how we um, want to contribute back into to his name. So that's also he said about it. So that's all for this reveal, guys. And the next reveal is gonna happen this Thursday, which so in which he's gonna talk about a bit more into about his actual identity itself. So let's wait for this. Sorry, Tuesday, not Thursday. So it's Tuesday. So let's wait for this Tuesday, and then let's take it further. So hope you enjoyed this one. So if you have any questions, just put it through. So this is just to give you a little crisp about what's happening around the space. Thanks, guys.